Okay, here we go. The Planet Mikey Show.
He's about to get crazy and wild. Stay for a while. Don't touch your radio dial.
Planet Mikey Show.
Kicking it back, sports talk. Listen to that and stay tuned for some giggles and laughs. Go.
Do you know when the U.S. was founded?
No.
Take a guess. Around when?
Like 1901?
Who fought in the Civil War?
I don't know.
Do you know how many continents there are?
No.
How many states make up the United States?
Dude, I know this.
You know this.
I do. That's crazy. I don't want to do this shit.
Say a number. Say a number.
I don't know.
No, you do know this. You do know this.
Wrong time.
How many make up 1 dozen?
How many what?
Like how many eggs are in 1 dozen?
10.
Welcome to the Planet Mikey Show.
Oh my God, there are such stupid people in this country.
College students.
College students, too. Okay. I got the Planet Mikey podcast. We got a great podcast coming up for you. Bill Lee will join us in a second here, but first, Ben Kitchen over here.
Hi.
Bill Smith over there. And on the West Coast, and by the way, we're brought to you by Pro Automotive of Webster and Dudley, Massachusetts, working hard every day to earn your business. For whatever ails your vehicle, Pro Automotive has the cure. On the West Coast, sort of, almost, in Oregon, and we're going to him live via telephone. The one and only, the 4th ever winningest left-hander in the history of the Boston Red Sox, member of the Red Sox Hall of Fame, and all-around interesting cat and one of my best pals, Spaceman Bill Lee. Hey, Bill.
Hiya, boys. Hiya. Yeah, I'm in Klamath Falls, Oregon, right on the California Tule Lake, just past Mount Shasta, and this is the home of Dennis Bennett, who won 200 games in Mexico and maybe 6 in the United States.
Yeah, right. Dennis Bennett, who came from the Phillies to the Red Sox for Dick Stewart, and I was devastated by that trade because I thought Dennis Bennett kind of sucked, and for the Red Sox, he did.
Well, it's because he saw Fenway Park in that wall, and they, he was basically a off-speed pitcher like me, but, he got hit pretty hard. Then they got Ellsworth. And then they got me and Gary Peters, and Gary was my roommate, and he was the roommate also of Jim Landis, who was starting center fielder of the '67 Red Sox.
Jim, I remember him, and I remember too that Gary Peters was one of the best best hitting pitchers in the league at the time.
Yes. I lost him this year. He just passed away, and Raditz passed away, and Landis passed away, and
Jesus.
and I passed away. And
no, you didn't. You fooled them all. You got back up.
I'm laying. The key is to lay down and pretend you're dead.
Bill had the greatest comeback of all players.
He did. Well, and when we asked you I said to you after that incident that happened with the Savannah Bananas, you said they didn't need to defibrillate me. I was just about to get up.
I was. I go. I didn't have any scar marks, and and then next thing you know, I have three cardiologists in Savannah. They look like the 3 wise men: frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And I'm going. You guys, what do you have? And he goes, well, Bill, we've come to the conclusion that your heart is wearing down. And I went, no shit.
And they gave you a pacemaker, and
they gave me a pacemaker, and then I went out and threw a complete game shutout. And punched out 9 and had an immaculate inning in the 9th inning in a 75 and over game. And I basically, after 9 innings, they all die anyway.
Well, I saw you at Jamie Parker's golf tournament, and I said, how's your pacemaker? And you said, it's fine, but my Prius won't start.
I know. And funny thing is, my Prius died going outside of Savannah on the way here, and I thought I'd be next.
Oh, man. Well, good luck on that road trip. You got your dog with you, and you also have your lovely wife with you.
I do. My dog has broke more male dogs' hearts. This puppy is good. And I mean, we've driven 9,000 miles, and now we're heading back to Billings, Montana in 2 days, and then through Iowa and back to Charleston, West Virginia, where I'll pitch. What's that, honey? I got to go to Montreal? No, I'm not going to Montreal. The hell with the Canadians. But anyway, I'm busy, and And you want to talk rule changes?
Yeah, I do.
They're because of the Bananas. The Bananas have put us on the map, and they're copying us and trying to work faster.
Well, they're not going to bring out guys on stilts to hit the ball in the Major League Baseball. But what you're talking about the pitch clock?
Yeah, the pitch clock. You can dance on the mound. You can't get out of the batter's box. See, the key is Garcia Pars of the world. These anal retentive guys that wear gloves and don't want to get in the batter's box.
Right.
And they're like the hokey pokey. They put their left foot in, then their right foot in, then all the shit starts.
Well, it does look like for a long time that's either they're trying to get extra camera FaceTime or they are just afraid of what could happen. I mean, Ted Williams never left the box when he got in the box.
Hell no, the pitcher left the mound.
But so the pitch clock so far, in your estimation, is it good? Is it bad? How do you feel?
It's really good. The trouble is going to hurt guys like Clevenger, guys that you can't pull a nail out of their ass with a pair of 8-inch pliers. They can't think and hit. But the funny thing is, they got walkie-talkies and mics. If they can't communicate now, how the hell are they ever going to communicate, pitcher and catcher?
Well, yeah, and you're supposed to get out there and know, at least look like you know what you're doing. You have a plan for each hitter. That's why you go over the tapes in the locker room before the games. The batters, you go over the batters with the catchers, and so you know what to expect. So really, the games are now 2.5 hours instead of 3.5.
Well, good. Now you're not going to sell any beer, and they'll complain about that.
Now, when you were pitching, you were a pretty fast worker. You didn't screw around out there. You got right down to business, right?
I got down. You saw me. Jim Cotton and I hooked up at 1 hour and 42 minutes, 1 hour and 47 minutes. And he and I were dance partners in Minnesota because the girls all danced together. The boys refused to dance. They sat around and drank, and threw darts. And then Jim Cotton and I go out and dance together, and we ended up with all the beef.
I never knew Kitty had the footwork, the Fred Astaire thing going.
Kitty Cat he's the guy who invented the no stride, the quick release to home plate to keep him from running.
The short step. And that was a maneuver to avoid what now we're going to see more of, which is stolen bases. By the way, he started the first Major League game I ever saw for the Minnesota Twins against the Red Sox in '64.
Wow, that's amazing. He pitched for a long, long time, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Kitty Cat's best fielding pitcher outside of me.
Outside of you. And he stole
the exact same fielding percentage lifetime.
And he stole the Gold Gloves from you because he was.
Well, he wore a Rawlings and I wore a Wilson and a McGregor.
So that's why he got screwed on that?
Yeah, this Wilson. Rawlings gives out the Gold Glove.
That's right. It's their award. I forgot about that. So you're good with the pitch clock. I think everybody so far has had pretty good reviews on it, except for maybe a couple of pitchers who are notoriously slow workers, like Rich Hill or whomever. There are guys who were slow workers, but most people have given that rave reviews. What about the size of the bases?
I love it. The funny thing is, it's called. It's called, what the hell's the name? Gore Vidal wrote Myra Breckenridge, and it was about Myra Breckenridge, and Tom Selleck starred in it. It was his first role, and Mae West was in the boudoir up above. And these men walked in, and Mae West looked at Tom Selleck. He goes, "Hey, big boy, how big are you?" And he goes, "Well, I'm 6 feet 6 inches, man." And she goes, "To hell with the 6 feet. Let's talk about the 6 inches." And that's the distance is shortened by 6 inches.
On the running between the bases, in other words.
Exactly, but it's wider. And I watched the instant replay, and I was at the San Francisco game, and they slide headfirst to the far outside of the bag, and the sweep tag has to go 6 inches further.
That's right. It does change it. Now, and plus the fact that they've also changed the rules on how many pickoff attempts you can make.
That is bad because it's going to increase people stealing after 2 pickoffs, and I think you should be able to work fast inside of the 22nd and at least fool them and stuff. But, you don't want to – the key is to slide step. If you think a guy's going to run on you, just don't give him the opportunity. Slide step, pitch out, and throw him out.
And left-handers have a key advantage in that game. In fact, in the game of baseball in general, there's a left-handed advantage there to a degree. Hitters too.
There is a big advantage.
Yeah, but now this being able to pick somebody off or keep them close or having a good pickoff move and knowing they know that you have a good pickoff move, it keeps them on their toes a little bit, and they don't get. Now they're going to just take off after 2 pickoff attempts, right?
Exactly what's going to happen. It's going to shatter the records. A lot of things are going to happen. It really, I don't know exactly the outcome and stuff, but I think everything will work out. I mean, hey, hitters adjust and then pitchers adjust accordingly. You know, in the old days, the hill was higher. They lowered the mound, you know. Then all of a sudden, pitchers started driving like Seaver and me and all those other guys. And then all of a sudden they changed it. Pitchers started throwing erect and over the top, and then hitters started uppercut swinging. So, you know, we're in a transition period right now.
Yeah, I think the speed of the game will change some of those stats. I would hope, at least, you know, positively. Now, what about the shift? They've now eliminated the shift.
Hey, I don't care about that. You shift all you want. You hit the other way. You know, the Giants won their last spring training game with 3 2-out bunts to win the game 7-4. So, geez. You know, and then the other day they bunted again.
2-out bunts.
And I was at the ballpark, and then they brought in this left-hander, and he hung a few too many sliders, and Cardafo, or the guy from the Mets, hit that home run, the kid from Washington State.
Yeah.
And he hit the 2-run homer to beat him. And then they go out, they get beat by the Dodgers yesterday, and the Giants they're not going to be there. They ain't going to score any runs. They look pathetic.
Okay, while we're giving your ratings on the teams, the Red Sox have a kind of a no-name lineup and pitching rotation compared to other seasons. What is your assessment of the Red Sox thus far and in the future with the cast of characters they have, Spaceman?
I don't know. I haven't seen a ball game. I haven't even heard of results. You know, what's their record?
5-5.
5-5?
Yeah.
Well, they're a 500 ball club, and that's where they're going to end up.
That's probably.
I'm really going out on a limb there.
You are. Right. Well, you know, we'll give you a chance to come back to New England and check them out more in depth, and we'll check back with you on that.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on with the Savannah Bananas? Because I know you're supposed to be coming to Massachusetts in August or something like that. I want to see at that game and see the whole crew.
Yeah.
Are you still doing? You still
Brockton,
active with it?
Brockton, Maine, whole bunch, in Hartford, Connecticut, Trenton, New Jersey. We're on the East Coast. And then we go to Syracuse. We end up at Cooperstown.
All summer.
And, where else?
Yeah, so you're going to be here. Oh, that's great. You know, I haven't watched you pitch in a live game, I don't think, since you broke the record with the Brockton Rocks. And you had a huge crowd
you didn't see me in San Rafael. You didn't see me in Sonoma, you know. And I haven't walked 2 years with the Bananas, a year, and this year, I have not walked anybody, and that's my only goal is to throw strikes, work fast, change speeds, you know. And
you haven't walked anybody?
No, I haven't walked anybody. I've had a 3-ball count, 3-1. I came back, and then I got a fly ball. I flew out in the stands, and I won the ball game. I got a hold, not a win, but I got a win last year at the age of 75. So
yeah,
I consider that against the AA team, Kansas City Monarchs. And, you know, Vladimir Guerrero's nephew was on that team, a guy named Adams that hit 200 home runs in the big leagues, and I beat them.
I like the sound of that. You know, I got to say this, though, Spaceman, before we let you get back to your dog and your trip.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stats of yours is that the Montreal Expos ditched you after you led the team in earned run average and batting average.
Exactly.
That's so sick. What's wrong with those bastards?
No one. That's. I hit 348. I had a 2.74 ERA. I got released after throwing 12 innings, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and had a 4.5 ERA, and I got released, and no one picked me up.
Hey, those Froggies, they like their hockey up there. Not sure they know much about baseball over there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was John McHale and Jim Fanning, the old Milwaukee Braves organization, you know, and they treated me poorly, and and then Haller and all the guys. A guy named Martin Stone is now 90. He was the highest bidder for the Red Sox in '76 when they went on the market. Martin Stone was that batting practice pitcher that had the curly shoes and stuff. And he said, Bill, raise a stink and sue Major League Baseball. They owe it to you. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
but
it's kind of like
39 years ago, I went to the Hill in Scottsdale and pitched in a pro game. So, Haller's dead. Lefevre's dead, I think. They're all a bunch of jerks. So
fuck them. Fuck all those guys.
And I'm happy. Yeah.
That's good. Well, listen, man, you have a safe trip. We love you. It's good to hear your voice. And next time you come back around, Bill has a
I did. I have a question. I want to know what your opinion is of, what's her name, Megan Rapinoe, thinking that men now should play in women's sports.
Oh, yeah.
Men playing in women's sports?
Yeah, Megan Rapinoe, after all her complaining about not being treated, her women's soccer team not being treated fairly, the men have an advantage. Now she says that men should play in women's sports.
The trans men.
Trans men, yeah.
Well, what the heck? I mean, the hardest thing about becoming a woman is not when they whack it off or they cleavage your tits back together or anything. It's when they stick the straw in your ear and suck out half your brain.
Well, you once said they asked you one time about women playing professional baseball. You said, I don't care as long as she can go from first to third on a single to right.
Exactly, but they have trouble because their ass pulls them into left center.
Spaceman, it's good talking to you, pal. You take care of yourself, all right?
You bet. Hey, I have one rule. If you slide, get up.
That's it. Have a good one, man. We'll see you.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Spaceman Bill Lee, one-of-a-kind type of guy. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, is there anybody else that compares to him?
No.
Oh, that's why. For those of you listening who don't know Bill Lee, Google Warren Zevon, Bill Lee, and listen to the song that he wrote for the Spaceman. Hey, we have a proud sponsor, and we have many of them, actually. We have one of them that's relatively new to us, and it's FanDuel. FanDuel. Now, you're getting inundated with all these. No, let me just tell you, go to FanDuel because they're local, they're polite, they're friendly, they're knowledgeable, and they're honest. You can get involved on all these grand slams and base stealings and no-hitters and double plays and home, everything.
And how about that app?
Everything baseball. Oh, the app. The FanDuel app is super. It's about the best, People ask me all the time, how's that app on FanDuel? I go, super. That's right. It's super. The new customers in Massachusetts can get in on the action with a $200 bonus bet guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Did you hear me?
That was good. I think you're getting ready for something.
$5 bet. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston. That's what you do. And you can bet on all your favorite sports right now. From the money line to point spreads, player props, everything. Everything. Now, what do I love about the app? Well, it's on my phone. That's what I love about it. It's one of the best things about it. It's a safe app. It's secure. It's super easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more fun for you and everybody around you. And don't forget the $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel's the official partner of Major League Baseball. And here comes my disclaimer.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to read it so people can understand.
Okay, ready, stand by. Go.
21 plus and present in Massachusetts. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Hope is here. Gambling helpline, massma.org. Call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. What I do for my 24/7 support, I wear 2 jock straps when I'm playing the game.
That'll do it.
Play it smart and from the start, and GameSenseMA.com or call 800-GAM-1234. I don't like the ends of by the time I get to the end of the disclaimers, I'm a little bored. I can be honest.
I know. It's just a legal thing anyway. So lawyers say, well, you got to say this after every commercial.
All right, we checked in with my buddy Spaceman, who was best man in my wedding, and I'll never get over that. Neither will he. I also wanted to mention that I did some Lyft driving this week.
You did?
Yeah. But first, before I do that, when I'm driving, I listen to various radio stations, and you've both worked at one of the ones I listen to.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I listen once in a while. I check in what's going on with the old alma mater, WEEI radio.
Oh, thank you.
And I was listening to the morning show.
Yeah.
And I heard Greg Hill say this. They were talking about who's the girl that's on the morning show?
Courtney?
Courtney.
That's Courtney. Now, wait a minute. You
never met
while
her.
you're driving in your Lyft,
I'm driving.
You're listening to WEEI.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hear Courtney, and I hear Wiggy, and I hear Greg Hill.
Yep.
And they're talking about these limits. They have 90-minute limits now on if you're in a restaurant, they kick you out for something. They used to have that during the COVID thing. Mm-hmm. And then somebody brought it back. They're trying to turn over the tables or whatever. They're talking about length of time you should be allowed to stay in a restaurant. And I hear Greg Hill say, you sit there talking. He says, but how long can people conversate? I thought to myself, conversate.
That's a good word, though.
Converse.
Well, yeah, but
how long can people converse? There's no word conversate.
Well, there is now.
Doesn't that bother you that someone who's a high-paid, what's the Marconi Award did he win? He's a Marconi winner, and he doesn't know the English language enough to say converse instead of conversate?
He's setting a trend.
Then I heard Wiggy doing a commercial.
Conversate.
It's right here in the dictionary.
It's not even a word.
It's right there
Thank you.
in dictionary.com.
It's not a
Greg
word.
Hill was right.
No, it's not.
You were wrong.
It's converse. You're
It's a
conversing.
verb used without object. Conversated, conversating, non-standard except in
No.
some
Conversation.
dialects.
Greg's had lots of experience
It
with
means
restaurants.
to have a conversation, converse, or talk.
Bullshit.
Greg would know.
Conversate.
You don't.
See?
It's not. Fuck, I hate you both. I love you both. I hear Wiggy do a commercial, right? And it's a commercial for, guess what? A betting place. I'm not going to mention the name of it.
Yep.
Because we have our own sponsor.
FanDuel.
But I hear Wiggy
They're
say,
the best.
he says, play all your parlays. All your parlays.
I love that about Wiggy.
Play it smart from the start,
Yeah.
he says.
That's right.
Play it smart from the start.
He's a
I'm
Boston
thinking,
guy.
well, but Jesus, come on. Come on. You got to conquer that accent, at least for the commercial read.
Sounds great.
Play it smart from the start. Don't say play it smart from the start, right?
That's what's
Just
lovable about
be
Wiggy.
you, Wiggy. Don't listen to this grump.
Wiggy, I'll slap
who
him later,
asked
Wiggy.
you?
Don't you worry.
Did someone ask Ben to pipe in? By the way, speaking of piping in,
Yeah.
SpeakPipe.
Speakpipe.com.
I have a thing here. I got a great contest for our listeners. Now,
Hold on.
listeners,
Conversate.
That's right. So now listen to this. Speakpipe.com/Planet Mikey podcast. And it's free. You can leave any kind of a comment at all, but you have a twist on this?
well, it might enter the show in this fashion. We're going to have a thing right now, and it starts this week, right now, as of this moment.
Right now.
You know the new 20-second pitch clock?
Where they conversate over the...
No, the baseball pitchers, they have to pitch the ball within 20 seconds or
Sure.
so.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to have the 20-second bitch clock.
bitch clock as opposed to the...
People can call or go to SpeakPipe and leave. It has to be 20 seconds or less.
No longer.
No long tirades because we won't bother to listen to them.
So that would be speakpipe.com/Planet Mikey podcast.
Right. You go there and just leave a little voice message, and we call it the 20-second bitch clock.
Yeah.
Where you bitch about something. You can bitch about the podcast. You can bitch about your wife. You can bitch about the smell of your wife. You can bitch about your dog or anything that happened. It has to be 20 seconds or less, and we'll take the best of the 20-second bitch clock offerings, and we will send to them a gorgeous, wonderful, giant, delicious, my grandma's coffee cake.
Really?
We'll mail it directly to you if you win.
All you got to do is leave your email so we can contact you. Yeah.
Exactly. Leave an email on the when you put your bitch clock thing in there, and it's a simple little contest.
Yeah,
It'll be fun. It'll be entertaining.
You can type in your email. Pardon me. So,
You
but
all
it's, I just had a little. There's that Snapple coming back on me. But the speakpipe.com/Planet Mikey podcast. There you go.
Call and be happy that we will let you conversate.
The bitch clock.
I have one more thing I want to mention on a commercial note, and that's that I had a blinker light go out on my Grand Ed Markey.
What year is that? What year is that car?
It's the 2006, the gray one.
So that light has been blinking since 2006.
So went out, and somebody pulled up behind me at a red light and said, "Yo, your red light's out," my blinker was out both because I had my son checking both. So I went back to
Wiggy would say blinka.
Blinka.
Yeah.
I went back to Pro Automotive in Webster, and I said, "Okay, I got a thing, emergency thing." I went in there. They said, "Come on at 8:00." By 8:20, I was out of there with a perfectly working. But these people are such pros, and that's why they call it Pro Automotive, of 626 South Main Street, Webster, 199 Oxford Avenue, Dudley, and 8 Englewood Street in Webster. 3 locations to serve you better.
They saved you from being pulled over and arrested.
Well, and they're such professionals, and they're so nice. It was like bing, bang, boom. They take care of business. They're full service, certified mechanics. They'll do any line of car. It doesn't have to. It's foreign or domestic. And Jason Russo, the owner, he's one of the best guys ever, and he runs that place very well. His employees love him. The customers love the place, and they'll take care of you with no surprises. Just honest, square business at a fair number.
Now, I have to ask, when you visit Pro Automotive, do you pull the old? Do you know who I am?
Yeah, I did that once, and they said no. No, they're really great. They're very personable people. So I take all 3 of my cars there at Pro Automotive with my highest recommendation. Tell them Mikey sent you, and get in there if you have a problem with your car. Okay? Now I have a list here.
That was good, Mike.
Thank you very much. Well, when I believe in a topic, I go with it.
You sound like a professional when you deliver that message.
Well, I am kind of professional, Smitty. I've done radio for a long, long time. And radio people don't say FM, they say FM. You're listening to WEEI FM. So I did a Lyft driving stint this week. Actually made quite a bit of money.
Did you have an unusual
I didn't really
trip?
want the money.
Any unusual passengers you want to talk about?
Well, I do. I'm trying to find. I have a list of. Okay. First of all, Benita.
Benita?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Benita. Okay.
Applebaum?
Benita
Benita
was a nice lady. Didn't speak a word of English. I had to pick her up at the Worcester Hospital. They have these services that book these rides for older people to take them to and from the hospital, and it says on your app, it says no changes on this ride. Just it's been ordered by some. So the company orders the car. I get there, and they say, look for Benita. They're calling me. Meanwhile, I'm trying to follow the directions to where to pick her up. They're calling me, trying to tell me she's there where the buses pick up. And I'm like, okay, I'm at the hospital. You pull up to the emergency room. That's where everybody drops off and picks up, in front of the place. So now, where do the buses drop off? I'm looking around. I didn't see any buses. So I look around. I go around in circles. She's at the place where the buses pick up. And she doesn't speak any English. So I'm like, okay, well, at least tell me what she looks like, because I'm trying to find somebody. I don't know. She's wearing a beige coat. So I circle around, and then I see this old lady. She's old. She's waving at me like, I'm over here. Nowhere near where the buses pick up. I pull up. I open the window. I go, Benita? She goes, she didn't speak any English. She gets in the back seat. I start driving, and it says on the thing, I'm like, where are we going? Chicopee.
Chicopee, Mass.
Do you know how far Chicopee is from Worcester? At Friday drive time, late in it was like, it said hour and 9 minutes to Chicopee. Now, you're supposed to get a warning. I don't know what's wrong with the app. Hold on a second.
Warning.
Hold on, that's my old radio partner, John Hamblin.
All right.
Yeah, we're on doing my podcast channel. I'll call you back. Thank you, bye. No, he didn't know. How's he going to know?
That's right. How did you know?
So I got to drive her to Chicopee, and and I'm in traffic, and then one guy cuts me off at the red light, and he's beeping. Then a steamroller, one of those cement mixers, almost killed me, like Wade Boggs' mother. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated because I got to go. Here's what happens when you go to Chicopee, you got to drive back.
That's correct.
So it's a 2-hour trip with Benita, who doesn't speak a word of English, and she's praying in the car. I think my driving caused her to pray. It was outrageous. And then the lady calls me, and she goes, "Did you pick up Benita?" I said, "She's in the car. I'm really not happy that I got to go an hour out, an hour back." And she goes, "Well, the lady says, you were very rude to me." You hung up on me last time I called you.
Oh, man.
So I said, it's time for me to be nice. So I said to the lady, why don't you go fuck yourself? No. And I hung up. These are the trials and tribulations of a Lyft driver.
Yeah.
The frustration. And you know what? I took her where she was going. I took her back the hour. I don't get paid to come back the hour or the gas or anything. I'm out there. I could have picked up rides in Chicopee.
If we talk
maybe
to
going to Holyoke.
If we talk to other Lyft drivers, would they have similar stories?
Yes, they would, and they would. But here's the thing about it. You go out to Western Mass, and I worked there for many years. They're going to know you're not from there if you say the names of the towns wrong. Like it's not Chicopee, it's Chicopee. Chicopee. You just got to say it. You got to jam it through. Chicopee. Chicopee. Holyoke. It's 2 syllables, not 3. Not Holyoke. It's Holyoke.
Holyoke. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to know these things, or else they're going to think you're a foreigner and treat you like crap. I have 2 news items.
Did you say news?
Was that like a double hit on that button?
That was a here.
Oh!
Now the news with Mike Adams.
And now the news. As part of an effort to identify extremists in the Catholic Church, the FBI recruited at least one, quote, undercover employee to develop sources among the clergy and church leadership, according to Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio. Jordan, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, issued a subpoena demanding FBI Director Christopher Wray testify and provide more information to Congress about what? The federal agency's intelligence gathering initiative targeting Catholic Americans.
Now the Catholics are the domestic terrorists.
Seriously?
It's about time. Had it up to here with you Catholics.
That's right.
Jim said, the letter said Americans attend church to worship and congregate for their or conversate. For their spiritual and personal betterment, the letter added. They must be free to exercise their fundamental First Amendment rights without worrying that the FBI may have planted so-called tripwire sources. They're spying and permeating
in
the
church.
Catholic congregation to find out if they're terrorists while they're at church praying to the Lord Jesus.
Isn't that great? It's like those movies where you'd see a guy infiltrate a communist secret meeting and he'd be taking notes. And maybe that's how they view the Catholics now as the communists.
Here's their explanation. Related to its investigation of Catholics after a former FBI agent leaked a memo entitled Interest of Racially or Ethnically Motivated Violent Extremists in Radical Traditionalist Catholic Ideology.
He sounds like a nice guy.
What the hell? Seriously, I've never gone to church, and I grew up Catholic. I was an altar boy, for God's sake. And for my mom's sake. And it kept me from having to sit in the seats, See, here's the thing about kids when you're 10 years old. You fart in church, and you sit in your own pew. So anyway, the extremist. I've never heard any Catholic priest or anyone say anything close to extreme. Mm-hmm. They were talking about the Bible, the gospel, and all that.
The LGBTQ team, they say that the Catholics are like the devil.
And now a sad news story number 2. Ben Kitchen.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. You're not part of this. Okay. I just wanted to wake you up. Lydell Grant. You know who he is?
Lydell? No.
Lydell Grant enjoyed 4 years out of prison after being exonerated from a crime he didn't commit. That's a happy ending story.
Wow.
He didn't commit it. They found out with DNA he didn't. He had been in prison for 8 years, and they let him out. Of course.
Can you imagine?
Of course they let him out. He had been sentenced to life in prison in 2012 in the fatal stabbing of Aaron Shearhorn. He tried to appeal his case, denied every time. Reports say the Innocent Project of Texas agreed to take on the case and found through DNA the killer was not Grant. Lydell was innocent. By then, he'd been in there for 8 years. However, after celebrating another victory of righting the wrongs of the criminal justice system, Grant found himself back in handcuffs.
Oh, no.
What did he do?
Here's the incident that happened. Thursday, about 11:50 p.m., Houston police believe Grant and another woman were leaving a corner store when he ran a stop sign, causing a Toyota to hit him. Grant allegedly got out of his car and then fired multiple shots through the windshield of the Toyota before getting back into his car and taking off.
Okay.
So it was a hit from a hitman and a hit and run. The driver of the Toyota, 33-year-old Edwin Arevalo, died at the scene. The accusations against Grant were read in a probable cause case overnight. Investigators say the surveillance video helped them identify Grant as the suspect, leading to his arrest. He's being held on a $1 million bond. God. I mean, it's kind of like if you've been in prison for 8 years, shouldn't you not carry a gun and A, and B, not fire the gun at somebody? Knowing how bad it was in prison for 8 years, you say, well, aren't you taking a chance?
I think he thought he gets a freebie.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he already served 8 years. I get to actually kill someone now.
Well, that's like OJ, with
But I can understand why. I mean, he was innocent, supposedly, I guess, in the first one. So I have no problem with him actually having the gun, whatever he was legally allowed to, right?
Using it and shooting a guy through the windshield, a Toyota.
Using
a
it,
Toyota.
Sure. I know. If it was a Honda, maybe.
Did you know that a Toyota is a palindrome?
Yes.
A Toyota? Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Isn't it?
ATOYOTA.
It's a freaking palindrome.
A Toyota.
I just came up with that on my own.
Oh, my God.
Subaru spelled backwards is you are a bus.
Subaru.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say it like this. Subaru.
Oh.
Feel the freedom.
That's how they say it in Japan, where Subarus are made. They don't say Subaru. They say Subaru.
That's right.
Did you know that?
Now we do.
And then they go Ernie Bach Jr.
You're getting canceled.
I don't give a shit. Hey, look at me. Does this look like the face of somebody who gives a shit if I get canceled?
Looks like someone who conversates.
This looks like the face of somebody who's been canceled for a long time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Unlike Joe and Jerry, who always make an appearance on our program.
Yeah, that's true.
Troop has picked out this week's song for the Castiglioke portion of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. Here it is now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to Bill Lee for coming on all the way from Oregon. Thanks to Ben Kitchen, Bill Smith. Joe, Jerry, come on in here. Now, on the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round. They gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, said, "Leave this one alone." She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone. Bad to the bone, Joe. Bad to the bone. Bad. 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 Bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you. I'll break 1,000 more before I'm through. I want to be yours, pretty baby. Yours and yours alone. And I'm here to tell you, honey, I'm bad to the bone. True? Bad to the bone, Joe. Bad. Bad. That's yours. Bad. Bad to the bone. Can you believe it? I like George Thorogood. He was a pretty good shortstop with his Delaware Destroyers, too, Joe. He played semi-pro ball. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So he had good hands at shortstop. Pretty good hands on the guitar, too. True. I like how you tied that together, Joe. Well done. You're quite the professional. I'll make a rich woman beg, make a good woman steal, make an old woman blush, and I'd make a young girl squeal. I want to be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, you should check out my bone. Bad. Bad. Oh, bad. Bad to the bone.